You know what you're going to add?
Yeah.
We'll try to pretend like it's a surprise.
Choosing a college to attend is a major decision that a young adult's going to make in their life. Hello, my name is Kevin Toyer, and today I'm going to be explaining to you why a community college would be beneficial to go to over a major four-year university. Transitioning from high school into college can be very difficult and demanding for a lot of students. College is the first time in a young student's life where they're truly independent and out there on their own. When attending a major four-year university, there's a high possibility that students are going to be out on their own and live away from their family for the very first time in their lives. This transition can be very difficult for young adults after having constant support from their family and friends throughout their entire life. Community colleges, on the other hand, help ease students into the college environment, allow students to have a much better and more personal relationship with their professors, and will ultimately save students a lot of money. Now allow me to begin explaining to you how transitioning from high school into community college is a lot easier than transition into a major four-year university. When attending a major four-year university, a student will many times go from living with their family and having constant support to being completely on their own. For the first time, a student will live on their own and have in a place where they may or may not know any people. Most students will grow up and go to school with the same people all the way from elementary school all the way through their senior year of high school. A whole new environment where they don't know many people and don't have many friends can be very difficult if they don't have their family around them. If a student is attending a community college, on the other hand, there's a high chance that they're going to be living with their family. Although they may still be at a school where they don't know many people, at the end of the day, they'll be able to go home and have their family support. The course load of a four-year university is also much more demanding and overwhelming than that of a community college. High schools nationwide, I feel, do a very poor job of preparing students for what to expect at major four-year universities. As stated by a former professor of mine in high school, Dean Sabetta, high school is nothing more than a daycare for teenagers. Community colleges essentially do what high school should be doing. They help ease students into the independence and course loads that is expected for them in a four-year university. Not only is the transition from high school into community college a lot easier, students will also be able to have a much more personal relationship with their professors. Community colleges offer a lot smaller class sizes than four-year universities. In many four-year universities, your general education classes will have upwards of 100 students in it. And this is really rare for a community college to have any more than 30 to 35 people in them. And small class sizes go hand in hand with the transitioning into college. From my personal experience, I've had many times when I needed help, I was able to go directly to my professors and get help that same day. If I were to attend a major four-year university, I would be very lucky if I was to email a professor and get an email back in a timely manner. And community colleges also allow them to have a much more personal relationship because you're able to have the same professors throughout many of your classes. In many of my electronics classes, even mathematics class, I've had the same professors. This means that I know what they expect from me and I can do my work accordingly. Now let me begin to explain to you the most beneficial aspect of going to the community college over a major four-year university. As stated by the American Association of community colleges tuitions and fees are approximately 50% lower than that of four-year colleges and universities. Within Ohio, the tuition costs differ drastically from a community college into the major four-year universities. Now this graph right here shows some of the tuition costs from all the schools in Ohio. All the information was gathered from collegetuition.startclass.com. As you can see by the graph alone, Columbus State's is drastically lower, and take into account these prices are just for tuition, and many times in a four-year university there will be extra costs and fees. As you can see, Columbus State ranges for a full-time student of 12 credit hours or so, around $4,000. And if you continue to look, four-year universities such as Ohio State, Ohio, and Cincinnati could be upwards from $10,000 to $11,000, and Miami even comes upwards of $14,000 per year. And as stated, many times in a four-year university you have to deal with room and board fees. And many times these room and board fees will be upwards of $10,000. So if you were to look at this graph, you would also add an additional $10,000 for room and board fees for these four-year universities. And from my personal experience, if I would have started my electromechanical engineering degree at Miami, you can see alone the major price differences. By spending 2 years at Columbus State and then transferring to Miami, I will ultimately pay around $61,000, $62,000 for my entire full degree. If I would have attended Miami University along with the room and board fees for the entire 4 years, my tuition prices would have been upwards of $108,000 per year. This ultimately would make my savings around $46,000. Now, despite community colleges costing so much less than four-year universities, a student's credits will ultimately transfer from community colleges into a four-year university with no problem. A student is ultimately paying more money at a four-year university for the same exact classes. The same content and standards are held regardless of what college a student is attending. And from my personal experience in my electromechanical engineering degree, 100% of my credits in my associate's degree will transfer over to Miami. And this will ultimately save me a large sum of money in the end. In conclusion, community colleges offer students the best guidance to be successful in the future. Community colleges help prepare young adults to be independent for the very first time and know what to expect when attending a four-year university. The smaller class sizes allow students to have a much more personal relationship with their students. The major difference in tuition costs and then the lack of additional costs such as room and board fees make community colleges a lot more worthwhile than a four-year university. Attending a community college is a major choice in a student's life. It is important to make the right choice. Thank you.